The first reason to journal, and this is the most important reason to journal, is it organizes your thinking. You see, you ask most people, you ask average performers, what are your top 5 visions? Or what are your top 5 values? Or what's your big 5 for this year? Or what do you want your life to stand for? Or what are the 5 things that make you happiest? Or what are the 3 foods that fuel your energy? Or who are the 7 people you would most like to meet to lift your game so you own your marketplace? And they'll say, great question. I don't know. And the point is simply this. Vague thinking leads to vague production. I'm going to say that again because it's so important. Vague thinking leads to vague production. And so clarity breeds mastery. So the first reason to journal, like write about your day, write about your ambitions, write about what you just learned from that wonderful conversation. I had a mastermind conversation with a friend a few days ago. And after that, I sat down for probably 3 hours with my black journal, and I wrote, I think it was 23 learning points that I received from that mastermind. And so that organizes my thinking, and it breeds incredible levels of clarity. And with better clarity, you can make better decisions in your business life and in your personal life. And with better decisions, you're going to see these better choices. So the first reason I encourage you to journal is it'll organize your thinking. The second reason I encourage you to journal, it fosters hope. You might be going through a really painful time. You might have lost a loved one. You might have lost a job. You might have faced one of life's inevitable disappointments, which actually, adversity is an opportunity for mastery to the A player. But anyway, maybe you're suffering right now. And so when you're writing a journal about what you want to happen, I call it a pre-performance template. Just write it out. Here's what I want to happen in my love life. Here's what I want to happen in my health. I missed the job opportunity or the job promotion. Here's what I want to happen. The very nature starts to train your brain on something bigger and better and higher and more beautiful. And then by doing that, you actually galvanize your confidence and you become filled and inspired with hope. And you know this, but confidence really is the needle mover. People say, well, it's about being bright. Well, okay, fine. But, I know a lot of billionaires who are not the brightest people in the room. And I said that with great respect, but they're the most confident. Persistence. Give me persistence over intelligence every single time. It's the hungriest who wins, not necessarily the most gifted. My point is simply the second reason to journal in this deconstruction is it'll fill you with hope. Number 3, journaling allows you to repeat and relive your favorite experiences. So I was in Barcelona about a month ago. It was with my Icon X group. This is the private, exclusive, small group of entrepreneurs and industry titans that I coach. And so we were having one of our 2-day sessions in Barcelona. And as I often do, I take them to my favorite restaurant in the city where we're in. So I took them to a place, and you have to eat at this place, please, before you get to the end of your life. It's called Calchim. It's in a place called Penedès, which is about 45 minutes out of that wonderful city, Barcelona. And in Penedès, this is where they make cava, right? Which is the Spanish equivalent of champagne. And so you go into this little village where Calchim is, and it's spelled C-A-L-X-I-M. And there's this little village. And as we drove up, me and my icons, the sun was setting, and there was a gentle breeze going through the trees of this little village. And the owner was standing outside, and his 2 children were playing. And he invited us, he gave me a huge hug as these Catalonians will. And we went downstairs into the bodega and we had an epic meal. And the food was magical. And the experience with my Icon X members was unforgettable. And the next morning I woke up in Barcelona and I wrote about it in my journal. And I wrote about it just to allow the experience to infuse my heart, not only my mind, but my heart. I wanted to take in what I experienced at that restaurant at a heart level, at an emotional, visceral level, so it became a felt knowing in my body. And yes, I'm passionate about great food, and yes, I'm passionate about that restaurant. I get nothing, of course, by sharing it, but your life is special, even if you're going through a difficult time. By writing in your journal about the good things in your life, the blessings, the sunsets, the great pizza meals, your favorite restaurants, that wonderful book you just read, that conversation you just had at a bus stop or with a taxi driver, it will allow you to relive the experience. And you can do that anytime you want to relive that experience and feel the same feelings. And if you do that, then you start living life almost like a miracle. Every day becomes this incredible miracle. Number 4, the fourth reason to journal, it imprints deliberate gratitude. You see, gratitude is a muscle. I'm going to repeat that again because it's so important. Gratitude is a muscle. The more you go to the gym of celebrating your blessings, the stronger your muscle internally of gratitude will grow. And you might say, Robin, you teach leadership to the Fortune 500, you teach elite performance to professional athletes in professional sports, for example. Why are you talking about gratitude? Well, if you look at the work of a lot of the storied and most celebrated positive psychologists, they will use a term called deliberate gratitude. And what they found is the happiest people are the people who make the time to deliberately celebrate gratitude. And happy people get big things done. Happy people are the most creative. Happy people are the least toxic. Happy people are the best entrepreneurs or team leaders within organizations. Happy people have the most fire in their belly. Happy people have the most grit, which is that trait, Angela Lee Duckworth's term about that trait of people who get the most things done. So my point is, in your journaling, if every day you take the time to record 10 things that are great about my life, 10 things that I'd love to focus on. It could be, I have 2 legs. If you're blessed to have 2 legs. It could be you have good eyesight in a world where a lot of people have glaucoma. It could be that you have income in a world where a large percentage of the world is existing on $2 a day. If you have food in your belly, you are a blessed human being. If you have a roof under your head, you are a very fortunate person indeed. And so it's the psychological term is called hedonic adaptation. You get a new car and you love the new car until it becomes your new normal. You buy a new house or you have a roof over your head if you were homeless and you take it for granted. That's hedonic adaptation. It's a survival instinct that we have to fight. And how do you fight taking things for granted, hedonic adaptation? The reply, or the way you fight it, is deliberate gratitude. And I am writing almost every day in my journal about what I'm grateful for. My loved ones. I have an extraordinary family who I adore. I am blessed to do these podcasts. I'm blessed to do these mastery sessions, to be of service to so many people. I am blessed to be an influencer on Facebook, where millions of people are going to my Facebook page every single day. I am blessed to have great health. I am blessed to do work I love. I am blessed to be able to eat food that makes me happy. I am blessed to have a home full of books. A home full of great learning materials, and a home that inspires you is a beautiful home, even if it's a 1-bedroom apartment or a hut. There's an image I saw the other day, these African school children, and they're reading under street lights. They don't have any electricity in their homes. So they coalesce and congregate every evening under public streetlights on the street so they all can read. That's how much they want to learn. And that moves me, even sharing it with you here today. And you are probably in a place where you have electricity in your home and you can read every night. Do you take the time to celebrate it? Journaling is a great way to dial in and acutely focus on those blessings. And just imagine if you took those things and really viscerally appreciated them, they would be so meaningful to you and you would feel so different, even if you're going through a disappointing time in your life. The fifth reason in this journaling deconstruction is to process through and release low energy emotions. So if you're going through one of life's inevitable hard times, life is a series of seasons, okay? And you're gonna have times at the top of the mountain, you're gonna have times in the valley. I've gone through times you could not imagine. I've gone through times where I have been attacked, where people have tried to take me down, where someone very close to me called it a horror story, like a Hollywood horror story. And I have pivoted during those times and used them as much as I humanly could do so to open my heart, to teach me forgiveness, to teach me faith, to teach me love, to understand that my enemies, and I don't have any enemies, but those people who tried to hurt me and destroy me were also helping me become a deeper, stronger, faster human being who was even more of service to you. And it makes me think of that wonderful Mexican proverb. They tried to bury me. They didn't understand we were seeds. And during my times in the darkness, where I was lost and hurting, where people were trying to destroy me, one of the things that saved me was my journal. Some days I would write for hours, and I would process the pain, and I would process the disappointment, and I would write about my confusion. You see, here's the key. Any great psychologist will tell you, and any great philosopher will tell you, if you do not feel through and release the pain and the disappointment and the anger towards forgiveness and freedom and love, you will repress and suppress those low energy emotions. And if you do, you'll be a toxic person. If you do, you'll be bitter 10 years later. If you do, you will never forgive. If you do, you will be carrying those people who tried to destroy you with you through the rest of your life. You won't be creative. You won't be productive. You won't be on fire. You won't be a master of your craft because you're stuck in the event that happened years ago. And journaling is a fantastic tool to move you through those difficult times, whether they last a week, whether they last 5 years, whether they last a decade. Hey, Nelson Mandela was in Robin Island for 27 years. You want to talk about a hero. Sixth reason to keep a journal, exponential learning sustainability. What does that mean, exponential learning sustainability? Well, by writing what you've learned in your journal, you dramatically accelerate the learning and the stickiness and sustainability of what you've learned. So if you've just been to a great conference, you've just been through a great online course, you've just read a great book, or let's say you've just had a great conversation with your mentor or a stranger. Over lunch, over a cup of tea, before you go to sleep, pull out your journal and write about it. Here's what I learned. Here are the 7 points. Here are the 15 points. And dial it in and calibrate the insights. Why? It'll deepen them in your thinking. It'll lock them in. And then, as you know, it's your beliefs that drive your behavior, right? Your income and your impact always reflects your self-identity. And so through learning and integrating the learning so you become this force of nature and this more valuable human being, then you will be able to bring on the value to your marketplace, bring on the service, bring on the passion, bring on the energy, bring on the excellence so that you become unstoppable as you rock your craft in your market of choice.